What's up, guys? So in today's video, we're gonna go over the SP500, the NASDAQ. I always, I'm sorry. I always wanted to start a video off like that. No, but so for today's video, basically, like I'm just gonna talk about what needs to happen for the overall market to continue moving the way that it is, and what I think essentially is going to happen. I'm not gonna talk about everything in detail the way that I normally do, because that would just be sort of a waste of time. So, yeah, let's get started. All right, so, okay, all right, basically, the VIX at 19, if the VIX falls below 19, that's going to be very, very bullish for the overall stock market. So that's number one. Keep that in mind. 19, very important level for the VIX. All right, so that's number one. Number two is that Bitcoin is at a very, very important level of resistance right here on the non-log chart. So essentially, when you look at the levels of support here as we continue on upwards, right? We're at a very, very important level of support. So when you put it on log, it's up here, but non-log chart, we're at that level of resistance. So this is going to be very, very important moving forward. Looking at the technical indicators on Bitcoin right now, essentially, you can see that the MACD and everything is starting to move lower right here. It's like cooled off, but the overall momentum, the yellow MACD line is moving upwards. So obviously this is very, very bullish, but we're approaching this very important level of resistance. And you could see that the RSI is also flattening out. Things look good, but in my opinion, in the next few days, Bitcoin really, really needs to like either break above this level with strength, or there should be a minor pullback. So that's what my thesis is really for in the next few days. Bitcoin, really, like, this is very, very simple. In the next few days, Bitcoin needs to start breaking above like 45,500. And if it doesn't, in the next, like, if by Tuesday, in my opinion, then the market should dip down a bit. I don't see how it would be possible right now for Bitcoin to just consolidate at these highs in this weird, just disgusting pattern, though, the way that it is. Because usually when we are just staircasing, like climbing with very small candles like this, we either need a huge move upwards or we're going to fall. So that's literally it right now for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin ends up falling, the rest of the stock market is going to end up falling. All right, so that is really my thesis for Bitcoin. You could clearly see in the short term, whatever, right here, we're holding above 44,000. We're holding above all of these prior levels of resistance, and we're holding them as support, which is great. But now Bitcoin needs to really start picking up the steam, or this is just going to break down on itself. So there's that for Bitcoin. And now when looking at the S&P, we can clearly see that we closed two candles above this uptrend line, right? And we were talking about how important this uptrend line would be for continuations to the upside. And now this range is basically from this lower level to this upper level. And the upper level is basically going to put the SPY at around 460. So this lower level for Monday, the support is going to be approximately like 449.50. And the upper level is going to be at approximately 460. So it's a pretty decent risk reward still to the long side. But of course, you know, when looking at the MACD on the SPY as well, the blue MACD line is starting to cool down. It's falling, yet we moved upwards. So that's very, very bullish. All right. And the RSI is also barely moving upwards, even though we had a very green day, right? So all of this is really also going to depend on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can't break above that level of resistance, then the SPY is going to break down below 450. And it's going to break down below this trend line support. So, but overall, the indices still look super, super bullish. Like, you can't look at this uptrend and then this barely just coming and retesting support and then moving on even higher afterwards as weakness. If you still think that this is weakness, then you are blinded by your biases, and you can't do that when you're trading. So really, still, everything still looks really, really bullish. The entire stock market looks bullish. Let's just keep it at that. There's not really much else to go into detail about the levels. I mean, we could, right? Like, we just quickly look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ clearly looks bullish as well. Same concept for all of the indicators. The levels are really the same in every single video. Like 358 needs to hold on the NASDAQ. The upper important levels of resistance are going to be 362 and 363. What else? The IWM clearly looks bullish. The MACD is falling lower, yet the IWM is holding in a bull flag. So everything, we're holding above 204.50. We're holding above 203.50. The upper level of resistance on the IWM is going to be 207.50. Overall, the entire market is clearly bullish. When you look at Apple, Apple is in an uptrend. It's not even outside of the upper level of the Bollinger Band anymore. We closed once, but then the upper B band is skyrocketing upwards. Tesla is comfortably trading over here as well. So everyone that tried to short as we were closing outside of the upper B bands are still losing money, because shorting into this extreme strength is very, very detrimental. And I was showing how this uptrend reminded me a lot about April of 2021 and April of 2020. So really, you just really need to just trade the trend. The trend is your friend. So currently, everything is moving upwards. But again, it really all depends on Bitcoin at the moment, at this level of resistance. So yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to talk about. We could take a look at the overall, the international markets. The German market is in an uptrend, then a bull flag. The Japanese market is at like, what is that? Basically like January 19th levels. The Chinese market is doing great as well, if it decides to load. Yeah, there you go. So basically, like, all of the international markets are reversing off of their bottoms, and they're holding pretty well. So really, like, there's not a real true reason to go short just yet. Just wait for levels of support to be broken before you decide to go short. Otherwise, the trend is your friend, and momentum can play a large factor in your favor. And yeah, there's that for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing weekend.